This is definitely a time of year to want to travel, don't you think? The leaves are about to be bursting into bloom. Spring is in the air. Everybody wants a chance to grab the best view possible. And why not make a trip up I-75 to Gatlinburg and take in the beauty of their mountains? Austin Martin is here this morning to welcome you up that way. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I think one of the challenges for those of us in Chattanooga, if you don't know the area well, is that there are different parts, if you will, of going up to the Smoky Mountains.
Sure.
So you're the communications manager for Anakeesta.
Yes.
It's its own type of beauty.
It is, and it's, the best place to view the Smoky Mountains from downtown Gatlinburg. So you ride the lift up, you get to the top of the mountain, you see 3 states, you see, downtown Gatlinburg, great view of the Space Needle, New Year's Eve, 4th of July. There's no better place to really celebrate any of those. Well, right now, everything's starting to come alive.
Right.
The spring is here, it's starting to warm up. So the Smoky Mountains are just absolutely gorgeous right now. And in the next few weeks, everything will start blooming. So those colors will really start popping.
It's got to be a bit of a challenge when you've got the Smoky Mountains as your backyard, because certainly you don't want to obscure their beauty, and you can't obscure their beauty, but y'all have done a great job of making it feel so fun. I mean, you don't have to just look at nature. You actually, like what you're doing now, you're a part of it practically.
And so that's kind of part of the entire design of Anakeesta. So Bob and Karen Bentz, they've owned that land for years and years and years. Their family, they grew up there. So the main thing when they were designing Anakeesta was really to keep that natural beauty, but also add some fun stuff to do. Of course, you want good food while you're looking at these views, and some things for the kids. We have our mountain coaster. So that's really the heart of Anakeesta, is really immersing you in the Smoky Mountains as opposed to, being in downtown when it's more of a city feel.
Right. So you mentioned the mountain coaster. That's long been a fan favorite.
It has been.
But now y'all are one-upping it.
We are. So right now we have a single rail coaster, and so it's the only one on the East Coast, and so it is, it is really a thrill if you're going down the mountain. However, we are adding a double rail coaster, and so it is going to be called the Hellbender, and it's named after the salamander that is native to the Smoky Mountains. So everything at Anakeesta has some educational element to it. And so while you're waiting in line, you'll learn about the salamander and all of the efforts, being put forth to protect that species in the national park. But the cool thing is, you're going to wiggle down that mountain just like a hellbender salamander would. And so it's going to have 4 90-degree turns, 3 270-degree turns, and then it's going to loop you around and you'll do a 360 and come right back up the mountain. So it's going to be a really for those thrill seekers. How
do you get back up the mountain? It just coasts you back up?
It brings you right back up. And so it's been designed so it's not, it doesn't feel like a huge drop. You'll gradually get to the bottom, and then you'll go through all of those turns, and then you'll come right back up to the top, and it brings you back out into our Black Bear Village.
Can you imagine being the engineering team that gets to design that thing? I hope they got A's in school.
They sure did, and let me tell you, everyone on that team knows every little detail about that.
Yeah, that is, so do you recommend if people are going to drive up from Chattanooga and our area, should they get reservations? How does that work?
Yeah, so if you're planning to come to Anakeesta, and just like anything in Gatlinburg, we do get busy, especially as it starts to warm up. People are really wanting to get out for those spring break trips and things like that. And with our Blooms and Tunes Festival coming into town, you're definitely going to want to book those tickets online, especially if you want to add on anything like our mountain coaster, like our Astra Lumina, which is brand new as well.
Okay, so they can just go online and do that. And then the early bird too is going to get that worm for lodging. Is there lodging on Anakeesta?
So there's not lodging on Anakeesta, but downtown Gatlinburg has plenty of cabins and any really good hotels that you'd like to stay in.
It's beautiful here, and we have the benefit of no matter where you drive in our area, you're looking at a mountain.
Right.
And ours are pretty, but it's a very different type of a pretty than when you get up to your area. It's breathtaking up there.
It really is. I grew up in the mountains, but they weren't like the Smoky Mountains. It's really cool. And my favorite thing about Gatlinburg, when you go there, you can see the divide of kind of the touristy, developed part, but you can also see, where the national park goes, and you really get to immerse yourself into nature.
And don't you recommend, if you can possibly do it, to stay long enough to let yourself go on a hike in the Smoky Mountains?
Absolutely. There are so many great trails, and Anakeesta backs right up to the national park. So if you have any, thrill seeking, you can go all the way up to Mount LeConte and then look right back at Anakeesta.
Right. He told me off camera that he was in Knoxville for a while, went to Columbus, Ohio, and you missed your mountain so much you purposely came back.
I did. The flatland is beautiful in its own way, but I miss those mountains.
Yeah. So here's how you can go and plan your visit. Go and enjoy all of the beauty that Gatlinburg has to offer. You can learn a lot about it at gatlinburg.com, but do not make any mistake. Go to Anakeesta while you're there. I'll confess to you, I've not been.
Well, you have to come.
This is going to be my year.
It is your year.
I keep saying it, but this is going to be my year.
You better get there, and we have so many new things to offer.
Yep.
You're really coming at a really good time.
I'm going to watch for you, Austin.
Okay, I'll be waiting.